Welcome back to the Joe Mack podcast. My next guest is a master of fine arts. He's a personal friend of mine. It's been a while since we've had a chance to connect. He is currently a digital video producer living in New York City, and he's so much more. We're going to get into all of the things that he is. His name is Lamont Baldwin. Lamont, thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm glad we could catch up.
Absolutely. Likewise. So you're currently in New York City. What's it like right now with the quarantine? How's everything going with that?
Just crazy right now. I think that one of the things that, people take for granted is the capacity to leave and to, go and do as we want. But the thing about New York is that although so many of us, we're so interconnected with public transportation. So, it's the virus is spreading a lot faster here than it is in other states.
Wow.
Also, people aren't really taking heed to the quarantine guidelines. So here we are.
Well, I'm glad you're safe, and I'm glad that we're able to connect on this platform. And just a little bit about our backstory. I mean, we crossed paths at Norfolk State University, and this was about 10 years ago now. And we were,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
I looked at you like, there's no way it was 10 years. It was like 10 years ago.
It's about 10 years ago.
Yeah, 2011-ish.
Yes. So we were...
2010, yeah.
Yes. And at Norfolk State, obviously, there was I can't say obviously because the viewer might not know, but Norfolk State University is in southeastern Virginia, and that's primarily where you and I both grew up. Yes. We attended the same high school at different times, but we were at the university at the same time, and we were both involved in the college radio station, which was Hot 91 FM, obviously. And let's start there. Had you always, I believe I had we were hosting shows at the same time. Am I correct in that?
Yeah. I think that initially I was filling in or co-hosting with DJ Jump Off during middays, and you were doing the afternoon when I first started the Hot 91.
That's right.
And that was your pop slot until you moved to prime time. Yeah.
Yes.
That was my first introduction of Joe Mack.
I couldn't remember if I was pretty sure I was on the air first, and then you kind of slid into that spot after I left the afternoon spot.
Right.
Did you always want to be in radio? Was that?
I started off on TV. I was on a local TV show on the CW27.
That's right.
About 3 years. So I had like a broadcasting background, but at the time I didn't think I was really good. I didn't think I was strong until like maybe a couple years into Hot 91. But I got the broadcasting bug, and then one of the things that I loved about it is that you didn't have to have all the hoopla that you did with television. So it was difficult for me to create something on an indie level that looked like mainstream broadcast-worthy content. Mm-hmm. But in terms of audio, all you needed was a professional microphone, right? And then some great editing software, and, you have yourself a radio show. So after I stopped working on the TV show, it was like maybe like a year and a half that I wasn't doing anything. I was actively practicing. I had a podcast back in the day before podcasts were a thing.
Yeah.
An online radio show that I did, just kind of get my feet wet, which is how I got the opportunity at Hot 91.
And what age did all this start at?
Maybe like 19.
Okay. So pretty much right out of high school, you started kind of getting into media, essentially.
Right.
Creating your own media content.
Right.
Yes.
I was in high school when I first started, so kind of like my foundationary period was like 16, 17, 18. So,
okay.
When B-roll is, all the stuff that we learned in undergrad, I came in with that knowledge for the most part.
Okay.
I loved it. Like, I think that once you get it and you realize that it's not unattainable, right? We see television, we hear the radio, and you're like, oh, that's cool. But how does one become an announcer? How does one become a broadcaster in these mediums? You don't know, So once it's demystified for you and you know all the behind the scenes, that's invaluable experience and knowledge, and I didn't want to let go of it.
Wow. Very good. And you've been currently in New York City for the past half decade or so, about almost over 5 years now.
It's actually, so I moved there 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and I graduated 2016. I accepted a position in Richmond, which is where I connected with Dee Marie again. So I moved back to New York a year ago. So maybe the last 5 years, I've been here 3 years.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I was doing a lot of back and forth during those 2 years that I wasn't living here. So I was producing my podcast in New York and recording in New York, but living in Richmond.
Okay. And currently today, what is the bulk of your work consist of today?
So my professional work is all video. I am a digital video producer. So I do everything. If I could have it my way, I would just do music videos consistently and all the time. But music video work isn't. It's just not. It's not the bulk of my projects. I do a lot of like mini documentary work. I work with a lot of artists, and I do work for them that isn't music centric. So like a lot of like those talking head mini documentary pieces, those artist packages, that kind of accompany projects. So we hear the music, we see the visuals, but who are you as an artist? So I produce those. I think that's my shit. I really love kind of like finding like the heightened versions of nonfiction.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen your work. I mean, it's progressively gotten better and better. I mean, it's really fantastic. How do people find you and hire you to do that work?
Sure. I'm on the web, of course. I'm on social media, Lamont Baldwin, and my portfolio, a lot of my video work is on lamontbaldwin.co. But like I said, a lot of the work that I do is mostly music videos. A lot of people is just word of mouth referrals and people connecting and people seeing my work and wanting to work with me, which is great. If it was the other way around, I don't know if I would be too inclined to continue on this because I do think a lot of it is pitching yourself. A lot of it is it's like the mind of a freelancer and an entrepreneur. Like you have to, whatever you want is yours. You just have to put it in, market it and put it on the platter and make it impossible for them to say no.
Wow. And so we both went to Norfolk State University. We both majored in mass communications.
Yeah.
Radio, TV, broadcasting. How was that experience for you? I mean, what were your biggest takeaways from that time frame?
I think that it was the biggest head start. Like I started college with having celebrity interviews under my belt. Finished 4 years of undergrad with entire SoundCloud channel of celebrity interviews, and I was a published writer with Black Enterprise. So like the experience was great. I think that in terms of like what I took away from it, it's everything that I needed. Right. Mm-hmm. I think that having great interviews, having celebrities legitimizes you in a way that it just sets you apart. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think we took for granted a lot of our skill set and a lot of our abilities, but looking back, like, we were amazing. Like, period. I think that it was a training ground. You know what I mean? Like 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, sometimes 5 if you get there early to prep.
Let's give the viewer a little bit of insight on exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about the station, the college station attached to Norfolk State University, WNSB Hot 91. How would you describe the station, the setting, all those things?
Yeah, like I said, it's like a training ground. It was some of the best, I'd say, quote unquote, undiscovered talent in the area. Everything from DJs to musicians, rappers, singers, to on-air personalities that, I don't want to, I still feel like humbled and grateful to be able to have worked with people that I genuinely looked up to. I would listen to J-Rod's show driving to the station. On Fridays, and it was hearing that show. It's like there will never be a show like that ever again. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know how special a lot of the on-air personalities were.
Yourself included.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, 100%.
It was a training ground, you know, like some of the brightest. Everybody was kind of like, you know, doing their own thing and all right, but everyone was strong, right? I think it was like, when I think about the lineup, I'm like, you know, like the dream team, like you put your all-star roster.
Absolutely. I think so I came in about 2009. This was after my military service. The names I remember, obviously J-Rod, and he was also, you know, Jay Farrell was a constant guest on his show as well. And also Showtime and the kind of the morning show, all them guys, I used to really pay attention to what they were doing. And I felt the same way. I felt like, man, these guys are on another level. I mean, they're really, it's just the level of comfort that they had doing what they were doing. You know, they were being able to be on the radio in front of tens of thousands of people potentially at any given moment, to conduct interviews, to introduce new music and give just, news updates, things like that, just on the spot. Like it's you and me talking like it was nothing. It took me about a year of producing commercials in the studio, being there pretty much every day and just studying what they were doing, how they were doing it before I was comfortable enough to give it a shot. And then I think Spot opened up during the midday, and that was my introduction to college radio.
Midday.
Yes.
No midday. Because that was 10 to 2, and it was from it was from 10 to 12, and from 2 to 12 to 2 was Democracy Now! Or something, right?
I think so. Other names that come to mind, I mean, there's just so many names. I mean, this was all under the guidance of Doug Perry, pretty much. I mean, he ran the studio. He pretty much showed us how to kind of do everything. Who else was there? Ed Turner was the big boss. Billy Springs was he was the commercial guy. Took a lot of pages out of his book too. He was a pretty good salesman. Who else was there? Samandy, obviously. I think she was midday. I think she might have been midday before me.
Actually, I saw her in November when I was in Atlanta. Actually, I was shooting at the studio that she works at.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Wow.
It's a moment. Samandy's the reason why I got on Hot 91.
Yeah. And then how long were you on air before you... How long were you on air?
10 to 14.
2010 to 2004. Okay, wow. So you had 4 years experience of college radio on an FM station, tens of thousands of people hearing what you're doing day after day, being responsible for bringing it, basically bringing it. I mean, this NSU radio is no joke. You really got to be on top of your game, and you really got to be something. Something special.
The thing about it is, I always just feel like y'all don't understand.
Yeah.
Saying college radio, it's just like it doesn't really even begin to encompass. It's just wasn't that. We were competing with commercial stations.
Absolutely, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
From our station, were just as notable and as popping as It just I don't think that it truly encompasses it.
Such a special time, such a special feeling.
We had like real artists come into our station. They're not going to ODU.
Right. Oh yeah. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we were by far the number one college urban contemporary station, probably in the whole. I would argue the whole state of Virginia. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, I'm talking about the reach, like you said, the celebrity. The celebrity interaction.
Yeah. There wasn't anything else. Like Richmond didn't have a school. Howard Hampton was gospel, or it was alternative contemporary. It was jazz.
Well, we got to take our hats off to all them guys. I mean, their stations were phenomenal too. I mean, they really had some phenomenal things. Jazz. I mean, those were top notch college stations as well. So we definitely have to take our hats off to them as well.
For sure.
So you were basically, you finished up radio around 2014. You graduated Norfolk State with your undergrad, just like I did in mass communications, radio, TV, broadcasting. And then you decided to pursue a master's degree. Can we get into that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. It was one of those things where like I knew radio and audio was like where my heart was. I just knew that I didn't want to play the market game. I was like, cool, if I get my big break in a smaller market, then I'd have to just market until I find my way to a top 10 market. And one of the things for me is that I knew I wouldn't be able to sustain on a radio salary alone, considering we know how most personalities supplement their income. They do hostings,
right.
DJ. So I just didn't have that. Like I always feel like I look too young. I'm like, can you imagine me being in the club looking like? I still think I look like 22. So imagine me being in the club, right? I just never thought it was a good fit, and I just didn't want to DJ. Mm-hmm. So I just made the decision, like at that point, to not put all my eggs into radio. Mm-hmm. Chris Caliente had just got fired from 103. DJ Fonz had just been let go from 103. He's since retired. But I was like, oh. So even if you're great and pay your dues and loyal and really control the market, you still are disposable.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I was like, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I have to have a backup plan. I have to have a way to make this all make sense. Television was always my first love, but radio kind of just, became radio. And I just made the decision to worst case scenario, I always have to fall back on. I'll be able to be like a starving artist while being able to teach like a television college course, at least as an adjunct professor. And so I made the decision. I knew I thought that there was so much more that I didn't get out of undergrad.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then you said, we were talking before we went live, it was basically between Brooklyn College and Boston College for your continuing education after Norfolk State. How was that decision made?
Right. So I knew I wasn't trying to go anywhere else. I knew I wanted to stay on the East Coast just in terms of like sheer proximity to my family and my support system.
Okay.
So, I got accepted to Brooklyn College in Boston, and, I visited both, and it was just, I was like, do I really want to live in Boston? Do I really want to live in Boston? I think Boston's one of the most racist cities in the country, period. Gotcha. So I was like, I really don't want to, I don't know if I want to go and be a part of that. Also, the snows, their winters are a lot more harsh than New York. Like 2-3 feet of snow is a regular thing. And I just thought that me being in New York just made more sense in terms of me already being in the number one market. I just didn't know at the time I wanted to live here. I was like, cool, I'll do my 2 years, but I wasn't planning on living here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially the proximity, being close to family and friends and things like that, that was definitely important to you, obviously.
Absolutely.
Now, you've shared with me that moving forward, you actually want to relocate to the West Coast. I know you visited LA recently. And one thing that you said when we were on a call that kind of that I wanted to bring up again is that you said New York is where you build your artistry. Los Angeles is where you, what is it?
Become a star.
Become a star.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of people play the game in a different way. I'm not going to say wrong, right? They move to LA and they build their portfolio, start taking acting classes, they get their headshots, they start building up their portfolio in terms of like their acting credits. Cool. That's going to take 8 to 10 years, period. As opposed to the person who comes to LA with their reel already solidified. They already have small local credits. Their social media presence is strong. They've already been trained for the most part. You've literally done all the legwork. You did what a lot of people come to LA to do. And I think that you've committed to the artistry of it, right? And LA is different, but I think it's you're reaping the rewards more because you're being paid, right? A lot of times with local projects is either no pay or very little. So you really are flexing your muscle as an artist. In LA, once you've already built your callus, once you've already kind of built that foundation of good habits, stardom is really the only the foundation is laid. You've aligned yourself so the universe is going to take over. So that's what I plan on doing. And I think that all of my friends who've moved to LA, they did what I don't want to do. You know, they've moved there and kind of figured it out. They've made LA home, and they figured out the career stuff second. I want career to be figured out first, and then we'll decide later this is going to be home, you know.
I see.
Yeah, I would love to be in LA. I love, every time I come, I always stay in Venice or Santa Monica. I just love that area.
Yeah, it's very charming. I mean, you know, the weather, the palm trees, obviously. It's a very charming place to be.
I like the Venice people. It's just so, if I had the money.
So if you had the money, you would make the move right now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So
I'm
that's...
over the New York cold.
You are? Okay. Is there anything else holding you back from making that move?
Yeah, I just think I think I didn't do enough here yet. You know, I had like a to-do list of all the things I wanted to accomplish in like separate categories, right? So like I really wanted to make the move here once. So I felt like I wouldn't have been able to sustain full time as a DVP in Hampton Roads, but in New York, I have so many more clients and I have so many more opportunities here. Okay. You know, so I really kind of like shaped my own career. I think I want to get to the point where like I think it's there's stages, right? So you get to the point where you create good work, then gets you booked, right? Then you continue to do good work. But then you get to the point where like, I don't want everybody to come to me. I want to have a specialty, right? I don't think plastic surgeons specialize in the entire body. There's some surgeons who specialize in breast augmentations, nose jobs, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But then you get to the point where you really find your voice and you say your art is now an extension of everything you want to say. So knowing who I am is just as simple as watching my work, right? I haven't got to that point yet. It's been just like numbers and, you know, clients, bookings, numbers, but I haven't got to the point where this is who I am. I think that comes with time, but the fact that I'm aware of it, I feel like it's on the horizon. Then in terms of like, I've never given up on like my announcing radio TV aspirations. I always knew that this is what I wanted to do, right?
Right.
I wanted to make sure I set myself up to be able to do it uninterruptedly. Now I'm already in the world, right? I work with artists, I work with brands. Like I do this every day. It's easier. I never wanted to be a starving artist. I never wanted to be broke, chasing the dream.
Right.
Like, what can I do based on my own skill set and talent that can sustain me financially?
Right.
I still love, and this is that. So I've set myself up to make this work, but now I've neglected the real dream for me. So now that I have the free time, or I will have the free time now, and I kind of, you know, that's the next step for me.
Wow. Chasing the dream, finding your voice. I mean, these are things that really resonate with a lot of people, you know, especially within our industry. And I'm so happy for you, man. I'm so glad that you found success in New York, and I'm 100% sure that when you come out to the West Coast, it's going to be even better. You know, I really got a good feeling about it. I mean, since I've known you, since we worked together at the station, I mean, your work ethic was top notch.
Your work ethic is top notch. Man, Joe, let me just sing your praises really quick. You know, for like the first year, I was just a carbon copy. I would just steal all this shit that I liked, and then like, you know, but it was a lot of ripoff, and I think that like it was the best thing I could have did, because you taught me how to do everything the right way. Just in terms of how just structured and organized you were. It was a science. And I think you trained me one day. And I was just like, oh, this is easy. It was never seemed easy when everyone else said. Joe would have his phone calls, like, your level of organization, your bed page,
yeah,
no one knows what that means. Let me shut up. But literally everything from your talk breaks to your intro to your calls to how you produced the show, how you interacted with callers, like you were the blueprint. Wow. Period.
Wow.
For real.
Wow.
And I sing your praises to anybody who will listen. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain people who are meant for this.
Yeah.
you know, and that's something that you can't buy, you can't be taught. It's the it factor.
Wow.
And I think that when you've done it a while and you are not jaded and you're not spilling yourself, because I think a lot of people drink the Kool-Aid, but when you know what the Kool-Aid consists of, it's not really like that enticing. Like
right.
we know what it is demystified.
Yes.
And all that having all the strong social media presence, having people wanting to see your content, that doesn't make you have it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Is that something you can't describe? Like that je ne sais quoi that makes you like that's only you can do what you do.
Yeah. I
think you mastered that.
Wow. That means a lot.
No, for real. I know, no BS.
Nah, I do appreciate that.
Ace.
I appreciate that, man. Well, I really appreciate that. You know, I mean, that does mean a lot, and it's funny that you're saying those things because I mean, the truth be told, you know, I could say the same things about you.
I appreciate that.
You know, I've seen you. I saw you coming to the station. I saw you. I mean, I think that you took it and made it your own. You know, I think that I had a very clear vision of how I wanted things to go, and I think that you kind of took it and made it your own. And I think that you had an added layer of kind of, I don't know how to, maybe professionalism, possibly.
No, I think it's professionalism. I think production value.
Okay. Yeah, production value, sure.
I still, no one can do it better than you. But yeah, that was, oh yeah. So more importantly, one thing I wanted to mention is like, it doesn't matter if the world believes it. You have to believe. You have to believe. You move different when you know you deserve something. You know what I mean? You move different when you feel like you believe. But you know what I mean? Like, I was having this conversation with a friend a couple of days ago about how, because I want all of my friends to win. I want everybody in my circle to win. And I try to, you know, say things to, you know, get them to, you know, get on the ball. But a person who knows they're the truth moves different. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you definitely move different, brother. Yeah, you definitely move different.
Like that, man.
You know, not everybody, you know, we come from the same, you know, we have the same background as far as the same air. And we also want to get into this too. I know we want to talk about this. We grew up primarily in Virginia Beach, which is southeastern Virginia. You know, we came out of the same high school. You attended Norfolk State. You know, you got into radio. You graduated. And then you made the decision to move to New York City, man, which is a very big market. And you became successful there. And you became a master of fine arts there. And now you're planning to move to the West Coast. And, man, I mean, you know, I don't meet people like that every day. And I haven't, you know, had the experience of meeting people like that every day. So I'm glad that we're able to catch up on this call. I mean, it's been a while since we caught up, and I think that this is really going to be really beneficial for anybody who's in our industry and looking to propel forward. I think this is going to be valuable to them as well.
Absolutely, I think that you know, especially with I think a lot of times the people tell the banquet story, you know. I moved to New York, got my first job, and then the rest is history. On what earth is that an adequate story? That, you know, I always had, even when we would visit New York on our media trips, I would have like rational like follow-ups. I was like, I want to know, like, how much were you making? How much was your rent?
Right.
How much were you doing loan payments? Did you have roommates?
Yes.
Did you ever, like, you had to have quit. How did you sustain? How did you transition from that first job to the second job? There's all these questions that I had. I'm like, the rest of history doesn't work for me. So I think that, as I always say, it's important to tell the truth about the journey.
Yeah.
Because one, we know, and two, nobody benefits from you making it seem easier than it is. You know.
Were you there on the Spike Lee trip?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were there in the NBC studios, right?
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, something just came to mind when you brought that up. Like, you having rational follow-up questions. Like, do you remember the lady that was
the tour guide?
Yeah, that kind of gave us a tour.
Yeah, I remember her being very high-strung.
Yeah, right. So, like, okay, that's great. Where's the value in that, right? those are the type of questions that you and me were asking, and that's what we had. Like, okay, well, that's great. You work for NBC and you're, stressed out of your mind. Where's the value in that? Like, it's like, is that what I want?
Well, a lot of people, the value is the first sentence. I work at NBC.
Right.
I'm in the mix. You know what I mean? I'm at one of the, the big five. It's nothing. Where else do you go from there?
Yeah.
I understand that, but I also understand that, like, how I've never fell into like the corporate trap and like wanted to. Well, at a certain time, I wanted to work for a major brand like TV, VH1, Viacom. I wanted because it sounded good, not because I really desired to be a part of it. Yeah. I think that but before I moved to New York, I got hired at a production company in the non-scripted department I was on the development team. So essentially, we were pitching reality show concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just very. I won't say the company, but like there's a split sheet. So if I were to send a show that got picked up and greenlit for one season, and this is my original concept, and I researched it, I would get $2,000. And I wouldn't get ownership of the idea.
Mm.
And I'm not okay with that. I think that we live in this digital age where you don't need those major brands to drive your content anymore. I think that if your shit's good, it's gonna fly, and if it's not flying, then your marketing sucks. Figure that out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You don't need that. And I think that what you want to do is to use them as like a guideline from like an aesthetic standpoint. Does my content look like theirs? And if not, how can I make it look as close as possible in terms of production value? But yeah, I don't think we need the brands anymore. They're stealing from us. We are the people. We're the heartbeat and the brain of all of these corporations, and the CEOs and the higher ups, they seem to be benefiting off our ideas, and they're making millions off of it.
Mm-hmm.
That just doesn't sit right with me. No matter how many pats on the back and how great having those 3 letters look in my social media bio.
Sure. And production value is something that I definitely could take a page out of your book in regards to that for sure. In regards,
I got you.
Yeah. So I definitely appreciate that. And then, everything you're saying now, what do you say to some people say, hey, look, man, sometimes you got to make somebody else rich before you can get rich.
Sure, I think I just don't have the time for that. Like, that's like an archaic way of thinking for me. A lot of people say you start off as a production assistant, you work your ass off, you promote it. Before you know, it's 11 years, and then like, what if you're amazingly talented, work your ass off, sacrifice so much, but it's not appreciated by the company.
Yeah.
You're giving them your good years. You're giving them your good years, a plethora of knowledge and experience, right? But you just don't get those years back. And I just never wanted to. I just always felt like that seems like the sheeple way of approaching this thing. And I'm like, nah, I need to build on my own so that y'all want to work with me.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah, so essentially you're saying, what is your time worth? And you're saying, hey, my time's worth a lot more than this.
Absolutely.
Wow.
If you're honest, man, just like there's a very finite number of like production jobs at these companies, right? There's shooters, editors, producers, and once those positions are filled, they're filled. So a lot of people who are talented, they end up taking a job that isn't necessarily directly applicable to what they study. Like I have friends and associates and colleagues who are, they work, they're support team members and they're admin of these companies, and in a central role for sure, but not what you paid that $100,000 for. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And they're not creating. Are they still talented and capable? Sure. But I think that the process, like what people, they lose their muscle mass is because like you don't create and release. And you're not creating your own.
Wow.
Creating and release is like the equivalent to like a pull-up.
Yeah.
And just hanging there isn't going to give you a muscle.
What advice would you have for me currently? Because over the past week, I think this is probably the 12th or 13th interview that I've done. And really, it's people that have been in my life mostly been like since quarantine. I've been reaching out to people that have been in my life personally that have added value to my life. I'm reconnecting with them. I'm sitting down with them. So there's automatically value for both of us, obviously, and for the viewer that knows you, and for the viewer that is part of the industry that you're in, or vice versa. I just want to edit it and get it out there and put it out there for the universe and put it out there for you to see and appreciate. I just want to have your face next to mine, us having the glitz and the glamour of the production. It's something that I don't have a lot of patience for. What do you say to a person like me?
Get some patience. I think that, like, there's certain people who are going to be, you got to just think about, like, what's going to get those clicks, right? When you think about YouTube videos to get the clicks, the impressive thumbnails, right? The edited thumbnails. You just like, oh, what's this about? The same with video content. People are attracted to colors. People are attracted to things that move. People love sound effects. People love, these are all things that are going to make someone to click to even care about your content. So I always work backwards. I always say, great, I have a great concept. I have a great show. Now I need to figure out a great way to make people care about it. That's equally as important. And what I do is I believe in over the top. If it doesn't look like this is like an MTV promo, I feel like I lost. I feel like I lost, but it doesn't look clean.
I think that's what I needed to hear at this point. Get some. I think that's what I needed to hear at this point.
Part of the journey, though, bro. This is part of the journey.
Yeah.
I think that what you got to do is commit to this shit. Mm-hmm. You're doing an episode a week for 2 years, even if you don't give a fuck about it anymore, because you're not going to see the growth that you are looking for unless it's been consistent in like an X amount of time, right?
Sure.
And I know that I'm telling you that because around like month 6 and 4, you're going to get discouraged and not want to do it anymore. But that's when you fuck up, because the eyes and the audience reach is gonna grow, right? Because one, and I know how you are, you're gonna keep growing the show, you're gonna keep building. We had this conversation now.
Yeah.
I know the show's not gonna look the same in like 2 months because it just has to keep evolving. But for you, the consistency is everything you want. That's how you really win. Like feed the monster. If people, you're gonna get passive fans, right, who follow you because I'll give this guy a follow. How are you gonna make them stay? Not just promo clips, right? Like, what is your brand? What are we talking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, always feed the monster. You got to give them something.
Wow.
And that's how you win. And here's the eye opener for me. Your content is the marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the best marketing tool,
See, I believe that, and I want it to see. I think I believe that, and I want that to be. Yeah, like you said, I just need to get some patience, kind of get some strategy to it, and kind of go from there. Because here's the thing: even in radio, I got discouraged because I wanted my content to be what propelled me. You know what I'm saying? Not in the club.
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna open every door for you, but it's not gonna be like a psh.
Okay.
Think about like you like, oh, this is a great song I'm adding to my album.
Okay.
Best demo. You have the best demo.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Lamont. And then one other thing I know that we wanted to discuss was the kind of the progression of Virginia, especially Virginia Beach, the scene there in media, entertainment, music over the past 10 years.
Yeah.
How would you describe it?
Man, I think that you develop such an appreciation for Virginia when you don't reside there anymore. And you also learn when you interact with people from other regions that we move different. I think that we have some of the most talented, some of the most slept on, some of the most forward-thinking creatives in that area. Like, I could name some. I've been able to work with a lot of the artists that I feel like just need 2 years and they're going to be the next whatever. Sed Hughes, Sonny and Gabe, Lacree, Blessing. Like, these are all artists who, Lacree lives in LA now. There's so many. These are all artists from the Hampton Roads area that are superstars. Carlos Armand. And it's not a coincidence that, like, so many of the greats come from that area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's coincidence. I think we're bred. Like, when a Virginia person moves to New York, our hunger is different. Our work ethic is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we appreciate it more. Like, when we come to New York and we look up at these skyscrapers, like, we're like, this is a shot, this is a photo. We don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can appreciate all the resources because we're not used to having access to them. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I see it and I can tell.
Wow.
I can tell when someone's from Virginia. And I've been able to, living up here, I've been able to connect with a lot of people that are from the Hampton Roads area, that have some sort of connection to it, that are here thriving. Most recently is Twiggy Garcon. They are the choreographer on FX's Pose. The last 2 seasons, they're from the Hampton Roads area. A lot of media content creators I've met here are from Hampton Roads, Portsmouth, Newport News, a couple of Virginians, a couple of Norfolk heads up here. And then there's like, of course, the community of creatives from Virginia that moved up here is super tight knit. But there's something in the water, like, we're special, And that sounds, everybody says it about their hometown, but we just need the spotlight. I'm like, do y'all know we really had a chance to compete? Like, meaning we were on the same scale as Atlanta or New York. Like, we'd be a force to be reckoned with. Like, because there's no Virginia sound. A lot of Atlanta and New York songs, they sound like they're from the region. But when you think about Pharrell, you think about Timberland, you think about Missy. And there's no sound, you know what I mean? They've always been.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great point. I mean, so that being said, I mean, how much do you think is it the individual, him or herself, that it's really up to become successful, ensure their success, and ensure their recognition and their own identification of what they bring to the table?
Sure, I think it's a different game, because I think a lot of the notoriety and success is contingent upon, like, relocating.
Right.
I don't think I think that it's really hard to break the matrix in Virginia. You've seen artists like Drum do it. Maceo, I don't mess his name up. Oh my God, he was an ODU student. He's from Virginia. He's incredibly successful. And he's touring. Like, I gotta see his music. He's amazing. I think it's Masego. And they've been able to catapult their careers in Virginia, but I don't think that's a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not a thing, because we don't, like, there's every blue moon a Hampton Roads artist will get, like, a hit. Drum, did it, of course, with Cha-Cha. And, but yeah, I don't think anyone's, because we don't play our local artists like national artists do. Like, when I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago, I was like, who's this artist? Like, it's a Dallas artist that they're playing in, like, regular rotation. Yeah.
I feel like it's been that way for a long time. I mean, do you think that there's reasons why it's that way? I mean, perhaps the populace of, the population base being the military, being the industries of tourism and military being the foundation of it. Do you think that has something to do with it?
I think just in terms of,
I mean, and just to say, like, the transient element of that being the bulk of the population, do you think that's kind of inherently a part of it?
I think it's just like the culture of
the culture.
Of the
area.
Okay. It's like we're too cool to support someone on the come up.
Yeah.
But we claim them immediately once they blow up.
Absolutely.
And
I'm okay. And just for the record, I'm okay with that.
No, me too.
I'm okay with that.
just let the record reflect that you were on my bandwagon until I was popping. Let's just let the record reflect. I'm cool with it. There's no beef, but let's just be very clear. Yeah. And I think that when it comes to just what was I talking about? I forgot.
Success.
Not Brooklyn. Virginia Beach is already like a little bit behind in terms of trends, in terms of music, than New York anyway, right? So, and I think that New York has been the number one market. They know they have the power to really influence the trickle down in terms of like playlists and spans, right? Yeah. So they're more willing to play an artist that isn't getting any spans across the country, but you see that a lot. We'll look at Hot 97's playlist and then compare it to like 103. It'll be the same for the most part. There'll be these outliers of like, yo, this makes sense, and it's a little too bored thinking.
It's great catching up with you because you're a lot more in the loop as far as contemporary radio than myself at this point. And it's kind of refreshing to kind of get some insight on everything.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh, I would love to talk to you about this. Just in terms of again, I'm gonna keep.
I mean, I've been on the West Coast for so long. I've been in kind of.
Let me put you on the game, motherfucker. You can bleep me out too. So when we were on air at 103, DJ B Wright. So DJ B Wright is now in New York on Hot 97.
Wow, good for her.
Has Andrew Martinez's old time spot.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
E.T. Torres, who also went to Norfolk State and had a very short stint on Hot 91. She was the midday personality on 106.5 The Beat in Richmond for years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, music director. She's Remy Ma's manager, and she's on there at Hot 97 now.
Wow.
Crazy,
I believe it. Absolutely.
Hey, the list goes in. Then Dominique the Diva, who started in Richmond and then with the Hampton Roads, she's now up in the DMV area. She has the slated to be the next syndicated hip hop morning show.
Oh wow.
So it's not by accident.
It's definitely possible. So it's definitely possible.
Absolutely. And for sure. I think back to when you did your best of tape. Joe put together like a highlight reel of sorts, like a mixtape-esque of the best moments from his show. Stand up, literally one, it was a brilliant concept.
Yeah.
And the mic dropper.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you brought that up because I've actually posted it all on YouTube now. It's actually, so our freestyles are on air. You and me, me taking all the callers are on air. The best of my stuff on air. I'm glad you brought that up. It's all on YouTube.
Joe, what's it called? Joe.
I'll send you the link.
Perfect.
So I mean, look.
Joe Max throwback.
Absolutely.
You remember your intro talk break?
I got it's posted up there too. Everything's posted up there. I'll send you all the links.
I'll have a field day with this today. This made my entire week.
I'm gonna put them in the description below as well, man. Thank you so much for bringing that up, man. I really appreciate all the recognition that you've given me. I appreciate all the value that you've provided as well during this insightful conversation that we've had, and it's really refreshing to touch base with you. I mean, I've lived on the West Coast for a while now, and there's nothing like reconnecting with East Coast people. Especially
when you move, you forget to have a whole life on the other side of the world, and you can play. Your life is there. Yeah. That's home now.
Yeah. Well, look, man. I mean, we're leveraging technology to reconnect, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I appreciate you being with me. Before we wrap this thing up, is there anything else that you have to say?
I would love to know what you wish you would have known, on your first day on air, that you know now.
My first day on air. Well, I mean,
your first act, the first act of your On Air.
The first act on air. I had unrealistic expectations to a degree. I think that.
What were your expectations?
My expectations were I was going to put out this magnificent body of work, this magnificent show that you could tune into at any point, and it was going to be
so well received as a bidding war at all the local stations for your show?
Yes.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I think you felt that way because you knew you were that talented. But that's just not, in this game, is never when you think it is. This is the marathon, right?
Yeah.
The beauty of you and I is that when we get the opportunity, we're prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've done the time. You know. You could host a live show, a 2-hour live show right now with no prep.
Absolutely. So could you, obviously.
They will freeze up.
Yeah.
We are built for this. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be younger. They're going to be younger, funnier people. Cool.
Yeah.
But you can't do what I do because I have the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I wish I would have. I know that now.
Yeah.
Because when you look to your left and your right, everybody's giving up. You know what I mean? Most people are just like, family, regular job, they're giving up. I'm like, oh. It literally gets rid of so much competition because I don't feel intimidated by someone just starting off, no matter what they bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't know. You know what I mean? There's a lot of rookie mistakes you make.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate that so much, man. I mean, once again, Lamont Baldwin, Master of Fine Arts. LamontBaldwin.co.
That seriously, y'all.
Was that?
But yes.
That's what you are, bro. You are a master of fine arts. You are a master of your craft. You're somebody that's stuck to it consistently. That's another thing. I can't say that for myself. I can't say that to your level. I can't say, your level of dedication. But your level of dedication over time to your craft is, I think, what sets you apart from a lot of people. And I'm so happy that you joined me today, and I'm so glad we were able to really document the process.
Yeah, it's so funny because when at the beginning of our conversation, when you had mentioned it had been 10 years, it doesn't feel like it's been 10 years. Yeah. It feels like it was just yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it so vividly. It was a huge part of my life. But this, like I said, this is a marathon.
It's a marathon. Yes.
You may take a break, you may rest, but we never quit.
We never quit.
You rested, and you'll see. Like, hopefully your second act, you understand that, like, consistency trumps talent.
Wow.
The work ethic is way more important than talent. You have that.
Wow.
So just keep doing this, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's discouraging.
Wow. Thank you so much, brother. I look forward to keeping in contact with you as well, and following up.
Absolutely, we have to, man. I look forward to watching your show and seeing the evolution. But I think the Joe Mack podcast is definitely going to be here to stay.
Thank you so much, brother.
Of course, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Stay safe out there.
I will try.
Stay safe out there, man. For real.
I'm going to try, man.
Thank you so much, Lamont.
I'm not going anywhere. I got my Clorox disinfectant wipes.
It's good.
But I'm about to run out, dude. There's no Lysol anywhere. Do y'all have Lysol still? Or y'all, like, every store out of Lysol?
I think we got Lysol. I don't think we ran out of that yet. Maybe you can send me a box. Maybe the Cash App you some money and send me a box. There's no Lysol on this side of the world. Anything you need, man. Just let me know. Let me know. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course.